Hi everyone, first of all, big thanks for getting us to 6,000 subscribers. Really appreciate everyone there. And also, if you're new to the channel, please don't forget to subscribe, like and hit that notification bell. Today we're going to be fitting some of these Terra Firma 30mm wheel spacers. I'm interested to see how it's going to perform. Tomorrow we're also going to be filming and adding on to this with the Cheshire Land Rover Club. We're going to be going up over the Derbyshire Dales. So I'm really interested to see how this extra little bit of 30mm, or just over an inch, is going to actually make those extra track, to see how that compares as we go through the routes. Also, a few people have said as well that on road, supposedly, if you have a bit of a lifted car, having that slightly wider track actually gives you some better stability. We'll see how that works, also in combination with the X-Lifter. One of the things as well that people have said is sometimes actually fitting the wheel spacers puts extra stress on your wheel bearings. I have actually already had two of the bearings in the past replaced in the last 2 years. The one on the far side at the front and also the one on this side at the back. This one I have noticed maybe there's a slight noise, so when we actually jack it up in a minute, we'll just actually check to see if there's any play in that as well. If there is, maybe I'll then think about getting that replaced at the same time as well. Okay, so car's already in the highest level, so we're going to get the jack under there now and get it jacked up. I should have mentioned I've actually already just loosened those nuts before the filming started. It's always better obviously loosen them on the ground, so you don't try and do that when it's up in the air. And I've got something chocked under the back wheels as well, just to make sure it doesn't roll down the slope. And obviously the handbrake, and it's in gear as well. Okay, it's just getting off the ground now. You can see that wheel moving. I actually prefer using the bottle jack over anything else. I know some people prefer to have a trolley jack, but I find really bottle jack is easiest when you're in odd situations. And plus, I'd never ever use the normal scissor jack that comes with it, because it's just really not safe. Let's just check this one, because I do know that in the past I've heard a little bit of a sound. I wasn't sure if it's going to be the wheel bearing, if it's starting to go or not. Let's see if there's any play in that. And that actually, yeah, up and down, there doesn't seem to be any play at all on that, so that seems to be fine. I know the steering knuckle joints on this do need to be replaced, so probably, yeah, I can feel there's a little bit of play in the left and right, but up and down is solid. So okay, let's actually just for safety, I'll quickly run and put my axle stand under there just so we take it off. Okay, let's whip off the wheel. Always make sure I get this the right way. I know these these wheel nuts tend to expand a bit. I have replaced quite a few of those in the past. Last one. Okay, let's get that wheel off. If I can. Should be safe there, hopefully. Okay, let's have a look inside. Oh, look, all the mud in there as well from the last outing we've had. We do with a bit more of a clean over in there. Now we need to make sure this is going to be clean as well, because we want a good surface for the wheel spacers to go up against. Let's make sure all that mud is off. In fact, maybe I should just get a brush and just go around that as well. Just give this a nice little clean up round here, because we don't want any dirt in between the spacer and the hub surface. Okay, let's have a look to see how these fit. So, oh yeah, different size nut on those. But let's find, wow, it's a long thread on there. So maybe let's find the correct size socket for this. Hopefully a bit of foam doesn't blow away. What is it going to be? 19mm perhaps? Yep, that fits. Let's just quickly undo those. That makes it quicker. Interesting there. Interesting, didn't even switch the thing over that fitted, but hey, let's switch it over now. At least it was good enough to undo those loose nuts. Alright, let's try and see how this fits on. So I'm making sure there's still a little bit of dirt there, let's make sure that's clean. Nothing in between there. Okay. Now I wonder if I should put a bit of copper slip on there or not. Maybe not. Okay, that seems to fit in neatly and it goes into that locator. Let's pop some of the nuts in. This is a terra firma wheel spacer. As I said, 30mm. You can see it's got the branding on the top there. Actually bought this second hand off a nice person on Facebook group. Okay. All right. Now let's get the torque wrench out. Normal wheels are set at 140 Newton meters. Just make sure I've got my torque wrench set at the right thing. Yeah, you can see there we've got that set at 140 Newton meters. Let's put the socket on there. Make sure I'm doing it up as well rather than doing it, otherwise that's not a lot of help. Let's just give it a little tweak. Just tighten slightly to begin with, not till it goes to the full amount. In a star pattern, obviously. In fact, 140 is really quite, really a lot of pressure. There we go. And the last one. There we go. Okay, so that's on. That looks good. Let's now put the wheel back on and see how it looks with the wheel back on. A little tip for putting it back on, I find, especially if I'm doing it on my own, it's fairly heavy to be able to lift it and try and get it aligned with the studs. I find using a spade is the easiest thing, because then I can just wedge it underneath there, lift it up that little extra bit to be able to get it lined up. Right, now let's make sure I've got the lined up. Is that a little bit more? Is that about right? Maybe a bit there. Right, let's get the spade underneath it. Okay, that's the first couple of nuts on. We can move this spade out of the way, and I need to do them up with the larger socket. I'll just get the other ones in. There we go, first one done. How's it look, Harv? Any different? Let's take the axle stand out. Come on, out you come. Get the jack out. So let's have a look to see what it looks like in comparison. Right, so that's with the first one. In fact, yeah, I can see it's actually just pretty much flush with the wheel arch. Let's bring the axle stand out the way so we can see it nicely as well, so it's not interrupting our line of sight. think that makes it look makes it look cooler if nothing else. So we'll whiz around and do a by the power of YouTube fast forward so you can see all of those being fitted on. Okay, so that's all 4 on now. It's still in the highest setting on the X lifter, so it looks a little bit strange where the wheels are obviously sticking down where they've been jacked up as well. Let's just drop it down, see how that looks after in the normal ride height, and give it a quick test drive as well. What is cool when you're reversing now, you can see that little bit of the tyre just sticking out from the wheel arch. Come have a look in this mirror. Okay, that seems to drive perfectly well. We'll try it out properly tomorrow when we're going to be over at the Derbyshire Dales. It was about an hour's drive over to meet up with the Cheshire Land Rover Club in Derbyshire. With the Cooper Discoverer STT Pros in the 265/70 R17, the car has always felt a little bit unstable above 60 mph with that extra ride height and additional sidewall flex. My immediate impression of the spaces on the road was the car felt considerably more stable at speed and with less wandering and play in the steering. As we headed out onto the tracks, it was difficult to really appreciate if the spaces made any difference to the traction, but going down some of those narrow lanes, it did give me a bit of extra confidence knowing that the wheels are slightly protruding out to the arches, giving some extra protection to the bodywork. You might notice here the D3 had a bit more mud spray on the side from the tyre sticking out further than usual. Next up on my list could be a modification for a set of Tough Rocks mud flaps. I'll keep you up to date as time goes on if we come across any reliability issues and if we see any problems with the wheel bearings. You may notice our channel now has a join button next to the name. We have set up the members part of our community, which will give you exclusive access to content. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. More interesting videos coming soon.